Hello and welcome to the Sheriff's Roundup, a quarterly wrap-up of just some of the events the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office has been involved with recently. I'm Sheriff Bill Brown, coming to you this time from the Sheriff's Solvang substation, where the Sheriff's Honor Guard routinely rehearses to ensure that the Sheriff's Office is represented with dignity and respect at important ceremonies throughout the year. As Sergeant Rick Soto explains to us, for the deputies who are dedicated to being on the Honor Guard, it's a calling and a sacred duty.
The Sheriff's Honor Guard basically handles two different types of details. The first one is the color guard detail, and that basically entails posting the colors or doing the ceremony for dignitaries that visit, or the Gary Awards, or for any other type of ceremony that we might be needed. The second is the Honor Guard detail. If there is a in the line of duty death, we will be there to support that agency no matter what. Sometimes we practice the same thing over and over and over: how to hold a flag, how to march with the flags, how to present the flag, and the drill with the rifle in your hand. All those things are things that we have to practice. It's a paramilitary type of a service that we do, so we take a lot of the military protocols and we match them up with law enforcement protocols to make them fit into the service that we need. If the time comes where we have an in the line of duty death, everything that we do is focused on respect and honor for that person's life. The fact that we wear a different uniform is a sign of respect. The fact that all the movements we do are slower and a little more intentional and respectful and ceremonial. Those things mean a lot to us, so we work on those things because we know that when the time comes and we present that very tightly folded flag to the family, it means a lot to them, and we want to make sure that we do it in the most respectful and honorable way possible because they did pay the ultimate price. We've had a lot of promotions, a lot of transfers, and a lot of retirements, and that has caused some space on our team. So we are planning an open recruitment for any sworn personnel, any custody personnel who would like to join us. They can apply. So we're looking for people who have prior military experience, who might have been part of an honor guard at a different agency, or if they just have the interest and the desire to serve this department in this capacity, we're looking for them.
Thanks, Sergeant Soto, and everyone on the Honor Guard for your impeccable attention to detail and accuracy, and for representing the Sheriff's Office so well, even during some very difficult circumstances. Another dedicated branch of the Sheriff's Office that works hard to provide an important public safety service is our volunteer Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team. For this edition of the Training Corner, veteran Search and Rescue Team member and dog handler Juanita Smith shows us a unique training opportunity that recently involved two crowd favorites, dogs and helicopters.
We're going to be doing some dog training with the Air Support Unit, and it's a very important training day for us. It's very stressful for both us and the dogs, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to desensitize the dogs to the helicopter, so when the actual time comes to be able to deploy them into the field via helicopter, they're as calm as possible, so when they reach the search area, they're able to actually get to work and not have to de-stress. We're going to be doing something that's called a hot load. A hot load is where the engine is running and the blades are spinning. So it's basically when the helicopter is ready to take off for flight. And that is actually how we will load most of the time when we're deployed in the field. They're not going to shut down the engines and the helicopter blades each time that they want to load up a dog team. So they're going to keep them running, and that's the critical part of getting on and the most dangerous. The component comes in of fear and anticipation and nervousness from the dog, because to them, this thing is this big, scary, giant dog-eating machine. The goal is to desensitize them to it, but once you're on it, that's the easy part. The flight time that we're going to be doing is easy. But it's getting through the downwash and all the debris flying and the noise that's going to be stressful for them. We don't want to force a dog onto the helicopter. All of our dogs get on and into the downdraft on their own. We don't pull them, we don't force them. They have to physically walk to the helicopter and get on their own. And the more times, the more repetitions that we do, the easier it's going to be for them to do that. Some of the things that we might use to help desensitize the dogs or get them more comfortable around the helicopter would be food as a reward. So when they take a step closer to the helicopter, we're going to give them a piece of food. If they take another step, we're going to give them another piece of food. So today is a big food day for a lot of them. Some dogs just have the drive and desire and will trust you and do anything you want. Others stand back and you have to move a little bit slower with them. This is one of the critical trainings for these dogs. All of these dogs need to successfully pass a sign-off that says that they can get on and off of the helicopter with minimal stress. And that's only with patience and creating as calm of an atmosphere for the dog as possible.
Thank you, Juanita, and all the members of the search and rescue team for the important work that you do. Another group of four-legged friends that are an important part of the Sheriff's Office are the horses that make up our mounted unit. Like the Honor Guard and Search and Rescue, this group trains throughout the year, and thanks to the Sheriff's benevolent posse, efforts are now underway to provide a new home for the mounted unit that will have great benefits for the community as well. Here's Lieutenant Eric Rainey of the Sheriff's Mounted Unit to explain.
The Sheriff's Mounted Enforcement Unit's been in existence for the last 26 years and been an integral part of the Sheriff's Department, crowd control, search and rescue, and rural law enforcement. We've occupied a space in Lompoc that we leased from the state for the majority of the unit's existence, and a couple of years ago we lost the lease of the land that we had occupied. So one of the first things that I was tasked with when I came into the unit was to find a new location for the mounted unit and decommission our Lompoc facility.
We started the process and discovered that here at the St. Ynez Valley Equestrian Center, we had the opportunity to house the mounted unit here and do a whole lot more.
The Equestrian Center was really excited to have us. They're a community-based organization. They were really thrilled to highlight the Sheriff's Mounted Unit here. So they agreed to sign a 20-year lease. Now our next goal is to raise money to build a barn.
The center itself is going to have a multi-purpose room. It can be used for community events, it can be used as a classroom, and it can also be used obviously as a meeting space for the mounted unit. The
deputies that are assigned to the mounted unit put out a lot of their own expenses to maintain their own animals, stable their own animals, feed them and care for them. So to have a barn facility that we can stable our animals, we can use as a meeting room, we can use as equipment storage, and then having it be on site so that we can train here is really key for the unit.
We'll also have programs and opportunities for children and young teens to volunteer to help the mounted unit, as well as a new junior mounted posse program that we're thinking about bringing out sometime later in the year or next year.
And then quick stop.
Part of the vision is to bring the community together in a variety of ways, bringing children and law enforcement together so they understand that law enforcement is a force of good and people that they can count on in a situation where they might need their help. We are strong believers that positive role modeling between children and law enforcement is really needed in our community and the rest of the United States, and we support these kinds of activities for that reason.
All of the reasons that we reach out to kids at a young age to make them comfortable with law enforcement, to give them an opportunity to do something productive after school or on the weekends, to stay out of trouble, to give them that self-confidence that comes with working with a big animal like this and working with law enforcement. I think it goes a long ways in our community relation efforts.
Well, I got to get on Lieutenant Rainey's horse, Sparky. He gave us some tips on how to do stuff that I didn't learn before. He taught without making it seem like something that was like you had to do, and he made it more fun.
The reality of it is that we need to raise money to build this facility. The Sheriff's Posse really is driven by private giving. Our deputies need the support, our children need our support. Remember, this is for the county of Santa Barbara. The St. Ynez Equestrian Center is the most centrally located place in the county for such a facility and such an opportunity. We welcome everybody in the county to take advantage of this, step up and support things that for years will have a positive impact on the Santa Barbara County community.
If you would like to help make the Equestrian Center a reality, you can contact the Sheriff's Benevolent Posse at 805-881-3197 or go to their website, sbsheriffsposse.org. The Santa Ynez Valley now has more sheriff's deputies patrolling the area thanks to the opening of the new Sheriff's Chumash Reservation substation. As per an agreement with the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians, the deputies are contracted to provide law enforcement services on the reservation and to assist in the surrounding Santa Ynez Valley.
This came about at a suggestion 2 years ago to the tribe, and the tribe voted overwhelmingly supporting an agreement with the Sheriff's Department. We have their presence here, and I think it really shows our commitment to the tribe and our commitment to the community.
We believe in community-based policing and getting to know the residents. Our response times are a lot quicker from here to the casino. We're looking forward to it. Oh, it's been very welcoming, very heartwarming.
We can mold it into something and shape the future. It's a 20-year-long contract at the minimum, so we're really building the foundation for at least the next 20 years out here on the reservation, and that's pretty exciting.
In February, 4 of these deputies were formally introduced to tribal members at the General Council meeting. They are Deputies Alexander Fuller, Van Wagener, Karowski, and Bruning. Deputy Bruning is enjoying his new assignment and took some time out to show us more about what it entails.
En route to the Indian Waco. There was a time where we wouldn't even respond to calls out here by ourselves. I guess things were pretty bad in the past. I was told, make sure you have a back, come with you.
34 Tom Street, 1110 on Oakside.
And then the last few years, it's really changed a lot.
Having the deputies here on the reservation results in a quicker response. There are a number of things that come up where they are here to assist, and I'm here to assist them too, should the need arise. Because sometimes things start to develop rapidly on that casino floor.
I'll go walk the floor, and sometimes make contacts with people there. Also, a lot of times we'll come out here, I'll grab one of the other deputies and we'll walk this parking structure. And we usually make several contacts a night in here. Dope arrests, DUI arrests, warrant arrests. We found a car full of children that were just left in a car for hours while their parents were playing. Kids went with the CWS and the parents went to jail. So things like that. So when we drive or walk through here, we look for people sitting in cars or just doing weird things. We're right in the middle of the reservation. It's a unique community with special needs, and by having us out here, we'll be able to identify those needs and take care of them. And also, it's just good to interact with the community and really have the backing of the people.
Thanks, Deputy Bruning, and best of luck to all 4 of our deputies in their new assignment. We hope to have more deputies in the future assigned to patrol the Santa Ynez riverbed and surrounding areas bordering the city of Lompoc. The Sheriff's Office has applied for a $75,000 state grant to provide extra enforcement and to purchase a new off-road vehicle to patrol the area. There have been an increasing number of complaints about persons illegally riding ATVs in the area, damaging property and the environment. Here's rural crime detective John McCarthy to tell us more about the problems that we are seeing.
For years, the Sheriff's Department's been receiving complaints from property owners in the south of Lompoc along the Santa Ynez River regarding trespassing, vandalism, theft, illegal campfires, illegal dumping. There's a lot of fish and wildlife violations. You name it, it just runs the gamut. And it's mainly from the off-roaders that are coming through from Lompoc City, through the riverbed and down into the rural areas. Right behind us, there's that USGS monitoring station. Over the years, it's been victimized by gunshots, graffiti, solar panels were removed. A lot of the farm equipment has been stolen, vandalized, crops have been damaged by the off-roaders coming in off the river, up into the farm fields. So those are some of the issues that we're dealing with. Due to the complaints, the Sheriff's Department was able to get a couple quads, and with inmate help, they were put back together And then with road yard people, they were able to actually make them more operational. We've been patrolling the riverbed when we can. We've made several citations. We're hoping that with increased funding through either the Board of Supervisors or a grant, that we can actually patrol down here much more than we already are. I've had several encounters with off-roaders coming up in the fields and up in the cattle range as well. 90% of the people that we contact, either out of the river or in the river, they flee from us. Most of them don't have helmets. Some of them have multiple riders on a quad. And the way that they flee, once they recognize that we're in law enforcement, they flee. It's just general disregard for public safety and for the environment and for other people's property as well.
There are 3 county ordinances prohibiting the operation of motor vehicles on unimproved private or unimproved public property. To find out where you can legally ride an all-terrain vehicle in Santa Barbara County, go to the U.S. Forest Service website at www.fs.usda.gov. The Sheriff's Office continues to investigate a number of auto burglaries in Santa Barbara County. In January, Sheriff's deputies arrested a Ventura couple at a Carpinteria hotel. These suspects were believed to be responsible for committing auto burglaries throughout Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. The couple then attempted to sell the items they had stolen on Craigslist. Deputies seized a large amount of stolen property from the couple, including forged checks, gift cards, tools, smartphones, laptops, and more. They also found 13 grams of methamphetamine, heroin, prescription pills, and evidence of narcotic sales. While we're pleased to have arrested 2 people responsible for a large number of auto burglaries, unfortunately there are many more offenders out there still committing these crimes. There are some things that you can do to make yourself less likely to become a victim. Here's Sergeant Marty Rose with some suggestions on this edition of Focus on Safety.
Lately, there's been a number of thefts from autos all throughout the county. When I say thefts from autos, it's both locked vehicles and unlocked vehicles. People will have their car parked in front of their house and the carport at their apartment building, and their vehicle will get broken into at that location. And what'll happen is the suspect will take any property they see that may be of value and steal it. Another more insidious issue, the burglar is stealing the registration and insurance out of the vehicle. What they do with that information is oftentimes they commit identity theft. And that's another very large issue that's been coming up with a lot of these auto burglaries. Every year when you get your new registration and every 6 months when you get your new insurance card, take the old one out, shred the old information. You can look inside your car in the glove box if your car is ever broken into and immediately know that this was or was not taken. Probably the vast majority of these are people that leave their vehicle unlocked overnight. What happens is the suspect can go around and they just operate off sheer percentages. They know that so many cars are going to be unlocked and they just go around checking doors. At other times, by using a tool to get into the car or simply by breaking the window. When they do this, that's usually because they either suspect or see some item that's valuable to them that they can get and take away. This can include an expensive car stereo, money. Oftentimes, people forget and they leave that $20 bill that they needed for the drive-through sitting on the front seat or a big cup of change. And it becomes a crime of opportunity. They say, okay, I see this property there, I want it. They break the window or break into the car by other means and take it out. The best thing that anyone can do to prevent that is basically don't have anything in view. Even things as small as car chargers and sunglasses, put those in the glove box, put them in the center console. Putting them there makes sure that the suspect, when they look through the window, doesn't see something that they'd want. People should remember that this type of crime is easily one of the most preventable. And when you get home, you really have to get into that habit of locking your car. If you have an alarm, turn it on. Doing just that simple amount of just remembering, oh, I have to do this, can save you a whole lot of trouble.
Thanks, Sergeant Rose, for those helpful safety tips. Barney Malekian has had a long and distinguished law enforcement career, and I am pleased to be able to say that it is far from over. So Barney, if you'll turn and face me now, I will swear you in. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office has an important new member of our family. On January the 5th, Bernard Malekian was sworn in as our new undersheriff. Undersheriff Malekian's swearing-in ceremony was attended by more than 100 people, including dignitaries and former colleagues from throughout his career. Undersheriff Malekian, who retired from the U.S. Coast Guard Reserve after 25 years, comes to the Sheriff's Office with 36 years of law enforcement experience, including a year as a deputy with the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office in 1976. He served with the Santa Monica Police Department for 23 years, as the Chief of Police for the City of Pasadena for 13 years, and as the Director of the U.S. Department of Justice's Community-Oriented Policing Services Office in Washington, D.C. for 4 years.
This is a challenging time for this profession. This is a challenging time both in terms of finances and resources and figuring out how we do service delivery. And it's a challenging time in terms of public trust and in terms of this sense of what is law enforcement to the greater community.
During the ceremony, Barney's wife Nancy pinned her husband's new badge on his uniform, and his son and stepson had the honor of pinning on his undersheriff stars. Congratulations on your new assignment, Barney. We're proud to have you as a member of our team. In order to welcome a new undersheriff, we had to say goodbye to a member of the Sheriff's Office who honorably served our agency and the citizens of Santa Barbara County for more than 3 decades. Former Acting Undersheriff Don Patterson, who was hired by the Sheriff's Office in 1979, retired after more than 30 years of service. He was recently honored by his peers and by leaders from throughout the community at a special retirement dinner.
On behalf of the state of California, I thank you for providing the highest quality of emergency, safety, and support services. You've helped make our Golden State a better place to live and raise our children.
Former Acting Undersheriff Patterson was also honored by the City of Goleta for his dedicated service and for his role as that city's first Chief of Police Services back in 2002. He was also recognized with a resolution of commendation by the Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors. Don, thank you for your exemplary and extraordinary dedication, leadership, and loyalty to our organization and to the people of Santa Barbara County. The Board of Supervisors also recognized North County Patrol Senior Deputy Mark Hamani for his 29 years of service, and Isla Vista Foot Patrol Deputy Mark Ward for his 21 years of service to the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Senior Deputy Steve Adam, assigned to Court Services, also received a resolution of commendation after more than 20 years of service to the Sheriff's Office. We also said goodbye to longtime Isla Vista Foot Patrol Parking Enforcement Officer Marcia Nielsen. Administrative Office Professional Senior Barbara Grunwald received her resolution of commendation upon retirement for her 23 years of service. The Board of Supervisors also honored my longtime administrative professional and assistant, Janie Taylor, as the Santa Barbara County Employee of the Month for March 2015. Janie also retired in March after 35 years of dedicated service. Janie, thank you for all of your hard work and professionalism. You're a class act and will be greatly missed. Fortunately, we've welcomed a new group of top quality employees to take the place of those who've retired. In January, we hired 2 new Sheriff's Deputy trainees, Aaron Gray and Maxwell Moore, as well as aircraft mechanic Burnaby Cabanon. We also welcomed 3 new dispatchers, Josh Surf, Tiara Avalos, and Rashad Rahman. In March, we hired new administrative professional, Samantha Otero, legal office professional Rebecca Hudson, and social worker Crisbel Tapia. We also welcomed several new custody deputies, including Cody Goodwin, Joel Ramirez, Francesca Arnaldi, Cameron Kennedy, Charles Lamb, Curtis Lowers, and Ansel Noakes. And in March, Ian was sworn in as a new sheriff's deputy from his former position as a custody deputy. Welcome, everyone. We're glad to have you aboard, and we wish each of you an exciting and rewarding career with the Sheriff's Office. One thing about joining the Sheriff's Office is that you truly become part of a second family. This was abundantly evident at a recent barbecue and silent auction fundraising event for Senior Deputy Dan McKinney and his family. Around 1,000 people showed up throughout the 4-hour event at the Elks Lodge in Goleta to show their support for this 16-year veteran of the department. Dan continues to recover from a life-changing medical event after hurting his neck while on patrol in Carpinteria and subsequently suffering a stroke. Fellow Sheriff's Special Enforcement team members and Sheriff's Office employees rallied together to put on this event for Senior Deputy McKinney and his family to help with long-term medical care. The amazing turnout said it all.
People love him because he's that kind of guy. He's the type of person that will do anything, and if the roles were reversed, I guarantee he'd be doing it for us as well. So we love Dan, we love his family.
His determination and his outlook, I mean, he's amazing. He still keeps amazing me.
It's emotional. I think it is for everybody that's really close to Dan and to the department, because we have all kinds of different people here today, from people in the public to department members to past department members. It's pretty amazing.
A bunch of local people donated their own homes and vacation rentals. To Rob Lowe donated signature, autographed pieces. We have more sports memorabilia than I thought we would get. Giants, the Royals, Dan Duffy, who's local.
I know it was emotional for Dan. He got choked up a little bit seeing all the people supporting him. Yeah, it's overwhelming.
More than $58,000 was raised for the McKinney family, with more than 800 tri-tip sandwiches sold. I'm immensely proud of everyone, Sheriff's Office members, allied agency professionals, and members of the public alike, who came together to make this special event so successful.
Thank you for all the people that came, and it's such a big deal to see all these people come and having a fun time for my dad.
It's very cool because I'm so proud of my dad. He's done so good. I mean, it's just amazing, and I'm super happy for him.
On behalf of Dan and his family, we thank you all so much. More than 25 pizzas were quickly devoured at a Pizza with a Cop event in Isla Vista, held at Pizza My Heart and hosted by the UCSB Police Department. The event was well attended and was a great way for students to interact with UCSB police officers and Isla Vista Foot Patrol deputies who work in their community. The Sheriff's Office continues to hold Coffee with a Cop events, another great way for the public to get to know their law enforcement officers and also ask questions in a casual atmosphere. A coffee gathering was held in Carpinteria in March at the Lucky Llama Coffee House. Thanks to everyone who came out. To find out when other Coffee with a Cop events are scheduled and to receive direct communication from the Sheriff's Office, sign up to receive our Nixle alerts by going to our website at www.sbsheriff.org. We end this roundup with a look back at a first ever event for the Sheriff's Office. Several deputies with the Deputy Sheriff's Association recently participated in the Polar Plunge to help raise money for Special Olympics. The deputies braved the cold water at Ledbetter Beach, all for a good cause. Sergeant Dan Calderon said it was chilly, but well worth it.
I don't like to think of the athletes as disabled. I like to think of them as differently abled. I do it because they are inspirational to me. The challenges that they face, the adversities that they go through every day, and they always do it with a smile on their faces. So to go out there and see what they can accomplish is just truly, it's breathtaking. It's amazing. So I admire them so much, and that's why I personally do this.
Thanks, Sergeant Calderon, and everyone who participated in the Polar Plunge. That was a really cool thing to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Roundup. Until next time, stay safe, and thank you for supporting the Sheriff's Office as we protect your safety.